This is the Wealthy Wednesday Show with your host, Luci McMonagle, a money manifestor, coach, and public speaker who's on a mission to helping you create more wealth in your life and business. This show will inspire and empower you with various topics and has expert guests. Let's welcome your host, Luci McMonagle.
Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday Show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle. I am so incredibly excited. Today we have my favorite, incredible friend, Tony Wilkins. He is the host of the popular internet show Small Business Forum Radio. And you can find that at blogtalkradio.com/Tony Wilkins. His show reaches over 25,000 listeners globally. He's the author of several books, and they are really, really good books. And some of them are Telemarketing Success and The Single Person's Cookbook. You may have seen him on one of the phenomenal events that he hosts and that he has spoken at. And he is also the author of the latest book, The Career Whisperer, which is a step-by-step guide for anyone looking to get booked on speaking engagements. Welcome to the show, Tony.
Well, thank you, Luci, for having me. I appreciate it. I do want to correct you on one thing.
Oh, yes, please.
The radio show, which is a live internet radio show, it's not a podcast. So it's a live radio show. We reach over 250,000 listeners, not 25,000. So need an extra zero in there. That's all.
Yes. Yes. Wow. That's almost 250,000. Is that correct?
250,000, yeah.
And it's a live show.
Yes,
Ooh.
It's a live show. Yeah, absolutely. Which I'm really excited about because, I launched in 2011. I wasn't even sure I wanted to get into broadcasting. Quite frankly, I got into it quite by accident. And I did it because someone was supposed to have me on their radio show, and they blew me off a couple of times. And being the personality that I am, I'm like, I'll show them, I'll do my own show. And so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I attribute everything that I've ever accomplished in my career to being eternally pissed off at something. So when this person blew me off, I said, I'll do my own show, and it's been a huge success ever since. Probably one of the things I'm most recognized for.
Wow. And you are so diverse. You are the publisher of the Small Business Forum magazine, the Foodie Quarterly, the Podium magazine, and Speakers Directory. And you have this incredible charisma about you that I really find so amazing because you're so multifaceted. And
go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really am excited because as an entrepreneur, many of us need to be multifaceted. We need to have our fingers in different things. Could you tell us how exactly did you go from, you were proving that I can do the radio show, and now it's a phenomenal success, absolutely phenomenal success. And you went from that, and plus you've been on TV, and you've really demonstrated on how a single person's cookbook is really important, not just for cooking. So how did you bridge those to become so multifaceted?
Well, I guess the easy and the short answer is number one, I only take on projects I really want to take on. So it has to be something that I'm interested in, something that I want to accomplish, something that other people are interested in. And so, for example, the cookbook came out of the fact that I really didn't want to do another business book. It was right after I published Telemarketing Success. And every publisher and literary agent in the world turned me down. And they said there's no market for a B2B telemarketing book for small business. And I said, well, that's my market. How can there be no market for that? That's who I'm doing business with now, and I'm doing all these workshops and whatnot. And so I decided to self-publish, and this was during a time when self-publishing was a dirty word. I did the book. It became a bestseller. People still buy it. It was published in 2004, and people are still purchasing it. And then I decided to do the Single Person's Cookbook because I really didn't want to do another telemarketing book, and I didn't know about anything else that I wanted to write at the time. And so I said, well, I'm single, and I'm always creating these recipes, and people are coming over for dinner, and they're saying, oh, you should write about this. And I said, okay, because, being stupid, and I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I decided to come up with the Single Person's Cookbook, which is sort of this is where I am in my life, and these are the dishes I made when I was dumped, little funny vignettes that I would tell in the book, and then, I'd have recipes and that sort of thing. And that led to several appearances on Channel 7 where I would do cooking demonstrations, and that was kind of neat. But the cookbook was incredibly hard because I'm not used to measuring anything, and I don't really write down recipes. I know exactly what I want to do when I do a recipe, but actually showing other people how to do it is incredibly difficult. And so that's where that came out of. And then Surviving the Economy came out in 2008, 2007, 2008, because the economy was down. And I had so many business owners that were coming to me and they're saying, I'm not making any money, the phone's not ringing anymore, what do I do? And so I sort of wanted to give small business owners a little bit of hope and some tips and resources they can use to continue to make money regardless of the industry or the economy. And then, of course, the latest book, The Career Whisperer, is a step-by-step guide for anyone who's looking to get into the speaking industry. Because, during the course of my own speaking career, I would get emails and questions from speakers that are saying, I'm not making any money. How are you doing it? How can I do it? And so I said, well, let's put this from the perspective of a speaker who also happens to be a meeting planner as well, and give the speakers sort of an idea, really simple, easy to do tips that they can do, and it won't cost them an arm and a leg. And that's been incredibly successful as well.
Wow.
There you have it, yeah.
That is so amazing. It seems like everything you decide to put your full energy into, you have the Midas touch.
Not really. There have been quite a few failures where you say it was a good idea, but it may not have been a good idea at the time. It was a good idea, but maybe I didn't execute it the right way, or maybe I didn't market it the right way. And you learn your lessons, and you say, well, let's not do that again. Or let's do that differently. And that's the way that a lot of these things happen. You get a little momentarily discouraged, and then you just say, you know what? This is still a good idea because I keep coming back to it, So there you have it.
Wow. And that's true. A lot of times it is trial and error. It's about execution. It's about doing the marketing correct. And, really putting your heart into it, making this decision, which is the first step from my understanding, is that you're going to do this, whether it's because somebody's, decided not to have you on a show and you're going to show them, or it's because you really found out, hey, wow, I really like this after you've dug into something.
Yeah, I mean, it goes beyond being ticked off, although using that anger and that frustration to do, to accomplish things can be helpful if it's channeled the right way. But it's also a commitment to whatever the product or the project is. You have to say, I'm really annoyed and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to create it, but I'm really committed to doing it. And a really great example is the booking service and the conferences that I do. And the booking service came, and the booking service is for speakers who are looking for other speaking opportunities. That came out of one speaker calling me up and saying, once again, I'm not booking, enough speaking engagements. Can you help me? And I wasn't looking to get into booking speakers. I was doing my own thing. And then it suddenly dawned on me, I can be looking for speaking opportunities while I'm booking, my speakers. And one of the things that I learned was it's incredibly difficult to reach meeting planners, to get them to commit to a speaker. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, to do it. And I don't negotiate any rates or anything like that. I just get them in front of the meeting planner and I get them booked. Everything else is up to the speaker. And so one of the things that suddenly dawned on me was, well, if I want to get in front of more people, I need to be able to create the opportunities that I want and not wait for, the meeting planner to call me, because it can take months, for the meeting planner to email, if they even get back with you. And so I said, well, the best way, and this is what you learn first year in business, the best way to get hired for any job is to hire yourself. And so I started creating these conferences so I could get in front of my core audience. And then I said, you know what? While I'm doing that, I'm going to book the speakers that I represent at my conferences. And then I said, well, why just stop there? Why not book other speakers and give other speakers an opportunity to speak at your conference as well? And I charge them a small registration fee, which covers, administrative costs, because it's not cheap. And I'm not running a nonprofit. And, people they're signing up. We've got 7 conferences that are coming up next year, and people are booking like I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But that just showed me that my instincts were right, that speakers really want a good opportunity to speak.
That's so true. That's so true. And really, one of the things that you've touched upon is using your anger or your pissed offness in order to use that in a positive force. And a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs or a lot of women entrepreneurs, they're afraid to get angry.
Yeah.
When you channel that into a positive force into your life, into your business, that's really when you start breaking through a lot of barriers.
Well, it's about control. It's about taking control over your own success and your own business and your own destiny. And I've had a lot of doors slammed in my face over the years. I've been in business for over 30 years. And I've had a lot of people who would say things like, I will never forget this. I was meeting with a gentleman, and I was a judge at a pitch fest, and I was really good at it. And so good that after the pitch fest, all of the startups wanted to speak to me. They wanted to come on my show and do business with me, that sort of thing. And I met with the organizer of this thing after the pitch fest a couple weeks later, because I wanted to talk to him about doing some other stuff and working together. And he, after keeping me waiting for 20 minutes, he said, "We don't know you. We don't know anything about you." And it made me feel horrible for a minute. And it's hard to do that with me. I don't, people can say things to me and it goes in one ear and out the other. But this really affected me for a few days. And I suddenly realized I'm allowing this guy to make me feel like crap. And from that point on, I refuse to let anybody do that. When somebody makes me feel or tries to make me feel less than, I channel that into a new project. You don't think I can do this? Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this my way, and I'm going to take charge. And it's worked for me. Every single time I get annoyed, or frustrated, I look at what I can do. First of all, I decide whether or not I actually want to do it. And then I decide, okay, I want to do this, but I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to do it differently and hopefully better.
Mhm.
That's it.
Wow. And that's really a big key secret for moving forward. And you've specified you've been in business for quite a few years as
Yes,
an
I'm old.
entrepreneur. I'm sorry, how many?
I said, yes, I'm old.
I would not consider you old, but I would definitely say that being able to use that, and one of the key points is being an entrepreneur is some people will try to make you feel less than.
Mhm.
And it doesn't really matter if you're male or female, if you're tall or small or big or whatever, just somebody in your life does have a tendency to do that. And I feel that that's really an opportunity as you're using the opportunity to decide, am I going to do this? Do I want to do this? And how am I going to do it my way?
Mhm. Well, and that brings up an interesting point, because one of the things that I have noticed within the speaking community, speakers always want to tell other speakers how to shape their business. And you and I met at the PSA conference earlier this year.
Yes.
And what was surprising to me were the number of speakers who heard me speak, loved what I had to say, but had some tips that they absolutely had to share with me. And so I have a lot of rules for doing business and for living my life. And one of my main rules is I don't give nor do I accept unsolicited advice. Because as a speaker, you know whether or not you connect with the audience. If I connect with the audience and they connect with me and they're getting it and then they wind up buying stuff for me, I've done my job. You know, I'm a perfectly imperfect speaker. And that's why I don't worry about trying to be this, try to fit into somebody else's mold of the type of speaker they think that I should be. I don't care. You know, if I haven't figured it out, I'll be 53 this month. If I haven't figured out how to do it at this point, I'm not gonna. So I don't give or accept unsolicited advice because I never know where it's coming from. Okay, and I've had speakers who have said something to me that and they always do it in the sense that I'm only trying to help you. But what they don't realize is that negativity stays with you until you decide to get rid of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And that is really a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of small business owners. That is the one thing that gives them overwhelm and they don't know what to do. They get paralyzed because they're listening to all of these people who intend the best for them by giving them advice. Mm-hmm. And then, but they're not listening to themselves. They're not listening. Right. They're not being true to themselves.
Exactly. And so I tend to, because, you know, as speakers, it's our nature to want to give advice. So when somebody comes to me and they say, well, Tony, da-da-da-da-da, and I will ask them two questions. Do you want me to listen or do you want to know what I think? And if you want to know what I think, you know, be prepared. It may not be something you want to hear. But I always give them the option and say, well, I can shut up and listen and just be supportive and whatnot. Or I can tell you what I think and maybe give you some options. But I never just give unsolicited advice. If you want to hear what I think, I'm happy to give it. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. And that's something that we definitely would like to ensure that you, as my audience, is paying attention. If somebody wants your advice, ask them if they want your advice rather than unsoliciting and giving them your opinions, because you may not know what direction this other person's going for. You may not know what they know or what they don't know. And they could be one of the greatest speakers, one of the greatest entrepreneurs. They could be somebody that has a lot of different areas that are very, very successful. So sometimes it's...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, sometimes it's better to listen more than to speak.
Well, and I'll give you a really terrific observation, because at the PSA conference, which, by the way, was a fantastic conference, Tanya Hoffman was amazing in putting this together. I know how difficult it was. Mm-hmm. But I had this one speaker who, she terrific speaker. She comes to me, I'm sitting in the audience, and it was my first night there. I'm exhausted, because I just got in. And she says to me, tell me what you do. And then I start, I naturally start going with, okay, well, I'm the radio personality, radio host, 250,000 listeners, yada, yada, yada. And her comment was, well, nobody cares about that. What else do you do? And, she's like, well, your branding is all over the place and it's a mess and you're never going to make any money that way. And I'm going, I'm doing pretty well, and I allowed this woman to get in my head to the point where for 2 days I couldn't sleep because I allowed her to tell me to convince me that I didn't know what I was talking about or what I was doing. Okay. And that's when I suddenly realized, you know what? I'm not the type of person to sit in a workshop and be lectured to. That's not me. I could either sit in the audience, and again, conference was fantastic, but it suddenly dawned on me, I could sit in the audience and learn how to make money, or I could be up in my room making money, which I'm very, very good at. So that's when I suddenly realized, okay, this is a learning, opportunity. Terrific. Learn something about myself.
Wow, and that's really important to really look at this as a learning opportunity, because you already know how to make money, you already know what to do, and you're successful at it. Mm-hmm. And that's so crucial for individuals as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, when you have a formula that's working for you. Not paying attention to other people on what they say, because they may not be working, they may not have a formula that's working for them, or their formula may not work for you.
Well, you don't know how they got to where they got to.
That's
you
true.
don't know how they got there. You don't know what they had to do if they're making $1 million a year, which I'm not. I'm going to be frank. I'm not making $1 million a year, but I'm not starving either. I'm doing very, very well. But, when you hear somebody, well, I'm making millions of dollars a year and blah, 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 well, bully for you. Maybe I'm okay, and maybe I will get to that $1 million a year at my own pace, in my own time, in my own way. And so you sort of have to look at it, take it with a grain of salt. If you're doing $1 million a year, well, what did that person have to do to get there? Am I willing to do that? Probably not. Because it's going to feel unnatural to me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What doesn't look natural, because the speaker said, your branding is all over the place and you're doing it. Well, what people don't realize, and this woman knew me for 5 seconds, is that what she didn't realize is that if you look at what I'm doing, everything that I do actually piggybacks off of everything else that I'm doing. The booking services, the directory, the book, it cross-promotes into everything else that I'm doing. And people are buying all of it. If I'm not making money at something, I'm not doing it. Simple as that.
That's true. That's true. And it's really, the way you have your business set up, it does cross-promote for one another. And for my understanding, is to have a really good business is to have complementary but unlike things together in order for you to be successful. So if this area is working, then you can move into another area and you can complement them.
Well, it goes a step beyond that, because part of what I learned with the last economic boom was that I needed to have more products and services to offer to sort of cushion me against whatever the economy was going to do. So if, for example, I wasn't getting a lot of booking service clients, okay, I can make sales from the directory, or I can make, sales from the conferences, or I can make, sales, several different streams of revenue. And that's what a lot of speakers kind of forget. They do one thing and one thing only, and then when business is slow, they kind of freak out because they don't know how to generate any revenue, and then they're in what I call survival. That's why it's called surviving the economy. They're in survival mode. So now they're sort of going, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Well, so part of me doing so many products and services that complement each other means that when I'm in front of an audience and I'm making an offer, I can say, and I don't sell from the stage, I simply say, I ask my two questions, what do you need? How can I help? And I sell from the need. So if a speaker says, well, I'm on a really limited budget, but I need to get in front of more people, terrific. I've got a directory, $169, and oh, great, you get a year of advertising in the magazine, that's terrific. I can afford that. Or the speaker says, well, I don't really have time to, call these meeting planners. Can you help me? Okay, terrific. I've got the booking service, $675 a month, and, this is what you get with that. So I create these products and services really based on the need, which I think we all should be doing. Mm-hmm. But we create it based on what we think other people want or what we feel people want to buy.
That is so true, Tony. And really right there, you've nailed it. What do you need? And then you create the product from there.
Right.
Wow.
What do you need and how can I help? And I'm going to tell you a little secret. I don't do a lot of networking. I've actually created a new networking platform called the Influential Networking and Selling Group. It's an online group. So we've got business owners that call in from all over the world. We meet monthly online. And I ask those two questions, and I ask the members to sort of come with a couple of things. Number one, be willing to be able to answer those two questions. Tell me exactly what you need so that I can connect you to people that can actually help you. And it goes a step beyond referrals, because the one thing that and you and I have had this conversation, I'm only interested in reciprocal relationships, long-term reciprocal relationships. So what makes us different is I'm not meeting somebody for one time and then I never hear from them again. I want to be able to help you long-term, or introduce you to people, or send you resources, or create opportunities. I created the conferences for the 7 conferences for 2017 because so many people were going, I need speaking opportunities. When you and I met at the PSA conference, I had one speaker come up to me and she was pissed because she said, you're doing the women's conference. How come I didn't know about this? And and so I said to the audience, I said, well, okay, ladies, if you want to speak at the women's conference this year, it's a 2-day conference. I'll open up a 3rd day to allow women to speak on that 3rd day. And I got inundated with the emails, so you just create from the need. What do people need?
Wow, and that's really, really powerful, the way you structure that. What do you need and how can I help?
And how can I help? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then make sure, and here's the other thing, you have to make sure that you have the products and services in place to sustain them. You can't, because not everybody can afford a $10,000, program. They can't afford to buy that program when you're in front of them and you're making your pitch.
Mm-hmm.
If you have different tiers, you can have the $10,000 program, you can have the $5,000, you can have the, $495 program, you can have the $20 program. As long as you walk out of there with, revenue or other speaking opportunities or contacts, then you're good.
That's fabulous. That's really fabulous. And if individuals wanted to get a hold of you, or they wanted to see what your services are, how would they get a hold of you?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is just to email me, awil267 487@AOL.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook, Tony Wilkins, Wilkins, or LinkedIn. But email is usually the easiest way. And if you want to tune in to the radio show, we usually book 6 months in advance. It's www.blogtalkradio.com/Tony Wilkins. And, we have commercials and partners and sponsors that we work with. And, we're always doing something rather interesting. So.
Oh, that's fabulous. So the best way to contact you is through your email, which is awil267487@AOL.com. They can look you up, Tony Wilkins, that's WILKINS, on Facebook or LinkedIn. And they can also get a hold of you, or they can listen to your live show at blogtalkradio.com /Tony Wilkins.
That's it.
Wow, Tony, this has been so phenomenal. The time has gone by so fast.
Absolutely. It went by really quickly. Yeah.
So is there any single tips, one piece of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience?
In terms of, because that's a broad question. In terms of for an up-and-coming new entrepreneur who wants to use speaking as a platform, what would be one nugget of wisdom or a piece of information you would like to provide that person? Oh, wow. There's so much, but can I offer a couple real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. So there are a couple of things. Number one, you have to speak to an audience that wants to hear what you want to talk about, because a lot of speakers will create these speaking topics that nobody's interested in, okay? Number two, you have to know who your audience is. So one of the best audiences happens to be small business. So you can get in front of entrepreneurs, keep in the back of your mind, who can afford to hire me after I finish speaking? So in other words, small business owners can afford to hire you, and it's a faster turnaround. Mid-sized companies, same thing. Large corporations usually take a longer time to close the deal. But you want to get in front of those people that can actually afford to hire you after you speak and can afford your products and services. So that's number one. Number two, check out your SBA, your local SBA, wherever you are. There's always an SBA office, to see whether or not they book speakers. That's a really wonderful opportunity to volunteer your time to speak. You cannot promote anything. You can't sell anything. But if you get in front of 25 to 30 people and you give them really good content, they will connect with you, and they will say, I want to purchase something from you. And then is there anything else? Well, there's a bunch of stuff. There's so much. I do an actual workshop called Making Money as a Speaker. So I could talk about this all day, but I won't.
Oh, wow. So, Tony, that has been so phenomenal. And a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners, never even occurs to them to get a hold of the SBA, which is the Small Business Association, to find out if they book speakers.
Well, you can contact the SBA, and this is the kind of information I have in my directory, in my books, and in my magazines. But the SBA is really terrific. Your local library. I just worked with my local main library here in San Francisco, and it was a woman who happened to come to Small Business Week, and where I was a speaker. She was sitting in the audience. She came to me afterwards. She said, I work for the public library, and we're looking to put together a new series of speakers to bring people into the library. And they don't pay, but you can make an offer after you speak. And I booked myself and all of my speakers, and they'll usually get 30 to 40 people in a class. If you close one or two, and depending on your price point, then that's absolutely worth your time to do it. Because if you can do the sales conversion, that's really great. By the way, that's another tip I want to leave with you. Speakers who will complain that they're not making any money haven't figured out their sales conversion tricks. at this point. Because if you're going to be speaking, quote, for free, which that's a whole nother subject, you have to be willing and able to take 20 people in the room and turn at least one or two of them into sales. And if you're not doing that, if you can do that, then you never have to worry about, quote, speaking for free, because you'll always have enough products and services that you can sell to people. That's part of the reason why I have as many products and services, because if I know what you need, I can point you in the right direction.
Fabulous. Wow, Tony, this has been a super show today. Thank you for being on the Wealthy Wednesday show. I'm so honored that you have taken the time out of your busy schedule so that you could be introduced to the women entrepreneurs who listen to this show. And I'd like to truly extend my appreciation to you.
Well, I thank you for having me on. I believe you're scheduled to come on my show. Have you been on my show before?
I have not been on your show before.
Are you scheduled to come on?
We were going to work together on being scheduled, yes.
Right, okay. So I knew you're in my tickler, and just shoot me an email and remind me, and we'll get you on. But I thank you for creating this opportunity, for having me on. I know some of my speakers that I book are going to be on your show shortly, so that'll be lovely. And thank you, and let me know what you need and how I can help you.
Definitely, I will send you an email.
All right, and that's to everybody out there as well.
Yes, and Tony's email is awil267-487@aol.com.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Get a hold of him and let him know what do you need and how can he help you. So, thank you. So for my audience, I'm so grateful that you are listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show. You are the reason why I create this show every single week. It is because of your comments and your suggestions that I have phenomenal guests on this show. And please let me know, continue to let me know if you have any topics you'd like me to cover, if there's anything that you need from me. My name's Luci McMonagle. You can reach me at my website at lucimcmonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com. And you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Wealthy Wednesday show. So let us know, what would you like to hear on future shows? So until next time, abundant blessings.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show with Luci McMonagle. That's on every Wednesday. Join us next time for more inspiration and empowerment from various topics and expert guests. To personally contact Luci McMonagle, visit LuciMcMonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com. Until next time, many blessings.